Russian President Vladimir Putin has gone to visit one of his most trusted allies. We're talking about neighboring Belarus, a country that has shown undying faithfulness to Russia since the start of the war. But Putin's visit has a motive, of course, and the Kremlin leader intends to convince Alexander Lukashenko for a new offensive against Ukraine. There are fears that Putin is planning a fresh ground attack, but for that, Belarus's support is crucial, so much so that Putin has had to visit Minsk himself. This is his first visit to the country since 2019. Just last week, a Ukrainian top general said that Russia is preparing 200,000 fresh troops for a major offensive here.
North Korea conducting what it's calling a final stage test for putting a military reconnaissance satellite into orbit. The regime's Aerospace Development Administration said via state media that preparations for the project will be complete by April 2023. The North said it fired a launch vehicle carrying a test piece satellite at the Sohae satellite launching ground on Sunday, and that goes against the South Korean military's report of mid-range ballistic missile launches detected that day.
Five people have been killed and one injured in a shooting incident in Canada's Toronto. The suspect was also reportedly killed in an exchange of fire with the police. The shooting took place in a residential unit in the suburbs of Jong-un on Sunday. Bodies of the victims were found in different parts of the residential complex. The police have also launched a probe and are investigating any possible links between the victims and the suspect. Canada has recorded an upsurge in gun crimes in the past few years. Since 2009. The gun crime rate in the country has increased fivefold.
The HTMS Sukhothai began to go down as the sun did. The small corvette warship was pounded by large waves during a storm in the Gulf of Thailand, then began taking on water. Soon the hull was flooded, short-circuiting the power room, and everyone was forced to abandon ship. Another Navy vessel came to the rescue and managed to pull 75 sailors aboard, but 31 remained in the choppy waters overnight.
Now, the terror hostage situation in Pakistan's Bannu of the Pakistan-Afghan border has turned ugly. Reports say one of the terrorists holding interrogators hostage has shot dead 2 cops. Many others have been injured here after one terrorist snatched an AK-47 rifle, opened fire inside the police station. 15 terrorists in all are said to be inside the counter-terrorism detention center, where they are holding interrogations and interrogators hostage. It is still not clear if any group has taken responsibility. Earlier in the day, the terrorists took hostages in order to negotiate with the government authorities. The terrorists, who call themselves Fidain, were under interrogation when they reportedly overpowered the police here. Initial reports suggest that there was no outside intervention. The terrorists want to broker a settlement for safe passage to neighboring Afghanistan, which is currently under the rule of the Taliban administration.
The IDF released satellite images showing rocket launchers adjacent to 3 schools in Gaza City, attended by over 1,000 students. The army said that Hamas intentionally places students in harm's way to act as human shields. The IDF added that the exposure comes approximately 2 weeks after UNRWA reported that the ground of one of its schools had collapsed. The army said the collapse was caused by the construction of a Hamas terrorist tunnel. Meanwhile, Hamas's leadership staged a mass armed march on Wednesday to mark the terror organization's 35th anniversary, meant to display its open confrontation with Israel. Tens of thousands took part in the march, and its leader left no doubt that the armed conflict between Israel and Hamas will continue.
A At least 9 Iraqi federal police officers have been killed in a bomb blast near Iraq's north-central city of Kirkuk, security sources told Reuters news agency. The sources said that those killed on Sunday were traveling in a convoy when the bomb struck. The blast took place near the village of Safra, which lies about 30 kilometers southwest of Kirkuk. 2 other officers were critically injured. A federal police officer told the AFP news agency that a direct attack with small arms followed the explosion.
"11 people have been seriously injured in Hawaii after the plane they were travelling in experienced severe turbulence. Emergency crews treated 36 patients after the flight landed, 16 of whom were taken to hospital for further medical treatment. 11 of them remain in hospital. The wounds include bruising, lacerations, loss of consciousness and serious head injuries. One passenger had not buckled her seatbelt as the turbulence hit, her daughter reporting she flew up and hit the ceiling. The flight was carrying over 250 passengers.